Hello everyone, the Sunburn Barbarian is an absolute beast inside the game, but when it comes to this Elite Rage, how does it work and how does it actually compare to the stats we see in game? Now I was a little hesitant to do this because number one, I'm lazy, and number two, I knew this was going to take a good amount of work. But 2 hours later, I have all the numbers, but let me tell you what you actually have to go through in order to find this data. The first thing I had to do was go into training, and I went in with Colt because that seemed a fairly easy one to kill off, or at least leave one single hit point to him. And it took about 22 hits from this Skeleton Armor Knight here in order to just bring him down to that last hit. Now the Skeleton Armor Knight is one that I want because this is going to equate to this kind of snow monster that's on the other side. If it's the one that shoots the bombs out, well, that's going to get the one with the big giant shield, and that one takes a long time, has a stun, is a pain, and it's not one that I wanted to deal with. Now once I got my Colt down to 1 HP, I then would go over to the chest, and in a chance of luck, I may see in the first 3 rotations here of the heroes a chance of getting a Mega. It seems like if I saw a Mega on the first screen of it and re-rolled, there was a chance I might see it on the second or third, but past that, I could hit it 100 times and not see a Mega at all. And then of course there's other times where you just don't see a Mega even on the first, second, or third, and you're just stuck going back in, getting down to that 1 HP, and trying all over again. Now the tricky part about this is once we go and get the Sunburn Barbarian, 20 seconds later it's going to get into the Elite Rage where it throws the hats on and now has that special effect. So this is where I needed to go over, take a hit on Colt there, and then go over, make sure I was getting my attacks in, dodge this kind of triple beam here, and still get the attacks in with the non-elite version. So I did the best I could and took 13 regular hits before he went elite, and then followed by another 5. Now that I at least had some good data with the regular version, now it was time to go back in, do it all over again, and just go straight in with the elite version of it and see how many hits it took. And with the Elite Sunburn Barbarian all by himself, it took 15 hits. You can see a difference right there going from a total of 18 down to 15, but that still doesn't give us the numbers. And the reason behind that is we still don't know how much HP this snow golem monster has. So that's where I went in with max, made sure I wasn't using any boost at all with it, and it took a total of 40 hits. Now where max does 200 damage per second, each hit actually is taking up 0.8 of a second, so I timed out the animation, split it up till I had an even number, and I was able to get 5 hits in 4 seconds. So knowing that we're doing 200 damage per second, times 4 is 800, we divide that by the 5 hits and we get 160 damage per hit. And the fact that I know that it took 40 hits, that puts this monster at 6,400, which is actually similar to the one that we had earlier in the testing long ago when we tested the one that shot out the flames at us back in the Beach World version. Now for the Elite version, it was pretty simple. We knew 6,400 was a health, we had 15 hits on it, so it was 426 damage per hit. But once again, that's damage per hit, that doesn't tell us damage per second, so I once again trimmed it out, found what a complete cycle for the animation was, and I was able to get 20 hits within 13 seconds, which made it roughly around 656 with some decimal points in there, but still, when you are using the Rage Elite version of it, 656. Now the non-elite version of it was a little bit simpler because we know we're doing 400 damage per second. And where it took 17 seconds to get 20 hits, this one was simple, take 400, times it by 17, and divide it by the 20. And that made the non-elite version 340 damage per hit. Just to make sure all the math lined up on this, I then went and took that 340, times it by my 13 hits of the standard one, which came to 4420, and then added an extra 5 hits at that 426, and that brought us up to 6,550, which actually works out perfect. It shows that we don't need an extra hit on this golem snow thing here, and it does fit right in the equation to show that this is pretty standard and accurate. So with all these numbers crunched, what's the actual end result of going from a regular Sunburn Barbarian to the Elite version? Well, when it comes to the attack speed of landing your attacks out, the normal one is going to do a 0.85 seconds per attack. And as far as the Elite version, it's going to be 0.65. So this means we're actually saving 0.2 of a second on every single attack from this Barbarian, which is pretty freaking huge. Now going from our 340 damage per hit up to 426 damage, that's a 125% increase. And finally, the stats that we see on the screen there for the 400 damage per second to 656 damage per second is going to be 164% damage per second increase. So as I said yesterday, I still believe that Magical Shelly is trumping this one here, but for a melee hero, Sunburned Barbarian is running the show. If you want to know more about all the megas and some hidden stats just like we had on this one, take a look at this video right here. Thanks for watching, and remember, I pick my butt.